What is up, everyone? We're back again with another video. Now this is going to be the first in my cinema revisited series. Basically these are just going to be like retro reviews where I go back and look at older movies. Could be from the 1940s, the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. It could be from 2 years ago. Now these are mainly going to be movies that I've seen and ones that I rewatch and want to talk about. Everything I like about them, everything I don't like about them. But there will be some first time watches on here. So if it's a movie I've never seen and I just want to do a review on it, I'll put it in this series. So basically they're just retro reviews. And these are going to be a little bit different from my newer reviews that I do, because they're going to be probably a little bit longer, these videos. In my newer reviews, I don't give any spoilers or anything like that. But most of these will have spoilers, just a heads up, because a lot of people have seen these movies. So say it's a movie from 20 years ago, a lot of people are going to see it anyway, and are probably only just watching the video to see my thoughts on it. So that's just a heads up. There will be spoilers in this video for this movie that I'm talking about today. So a couple of subscribers have asked me to do this video on my Rise of the Footsoldier 4 review. If you want to check that out, that is down below. And people on Twitter have asked me to do it as well, because this is a well-known British movie, and the movie is Rise of the Footsoldier from 2007. This is directed by Julian Gilby, starring Ricky Hartnett, Craig Fairbrass, Teddy Stone and Roland Manookian. Now this was an independent movie that has gained a bit of a cult following here in the UK, and it's that popular that it actually spawned 3 sequels. You can see them behind me. And I do have the Carlton Leach book there. But I'm not going to talk about them today, because the first is king. And like I said, I do have a Rise of the Footsoldier 4 review already done. I'm basically just talking about the first movie today, the best in the franchise in my opinion, and probably in everyone else's opinion. Now my first memories with Rise of the Footsoldier were when I seen a lot of reviews at the time it came out in 2007. And a lot of the newspapers, yes, I used to buy newspapers, didn't we all, were giving this movie a 1 out of 5. Now, I just immediately had no interest in it. And I remember the Daily Star actually gave it a turkey, which is the worst rating you could give a film, worse than a 1. So I just wanted to avoid it at all costs, basically. And a family member, a few months later, was lending me a few movies. And she said, watch this one. And I was like, no, I don't want to see that. I've heard it's terrible. And she went, no, who said that? And I was like, well, all the newspapers, all the reviews, the critics have given terrible reviews. And she said, no, I think you'll like it. So I said, okay, I'll just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen, basically? So I was looking at the back before I put the DVD into the player, and it said Julian Gilby had made this film. And I instantly remembered a movie he made called Rolling with the Nines. Me and my friends watched that a couple of times when we were just chilling in each other's house. And we threw that on a good couple of times, and I remember it being a very gritty and realistic drama, and we loved it. So I just thought, you know what, I will give this a go, because I really did like that film. And it was my first lesson in always making my own mind up. You know, a reviewer might give it a bad review, but you might think the total opposite. And I did, because I absolutely loved this film. I loved it that much. I watched it twice in the first 2 days that I got lent this DVD. I watched it the first night, and the second night I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch that again. So this tells the true life story of Carlton Leach, who known associates were part of the Essex murders in 1995. But before we get into all that, this tells the story of Carlton's life at a very young age, where he was a football hooligan. And then he starts to get his own door firm after he gets out of all the football stuff. And then eventually gets into a lot deeper things where people are coming to him for all sorts of little odd jobs. And this is where he meets Tony Tucker. Now Tony has his own sort of things going on in a similar line of work. And the movie halfway through does sort of switch protagonists. So Carlton Leach is always in the background, but it switches to Tony. One of his associates called Craig Rolfe, who does little odd jobs for Tony, and an absolute monster of a man called Pat Tate. The movie sort of moves from Carlton to these 3, absolutely terrorising Essex, becoming the most feared men in Essex. And basically, it's just about them doing what they want, whatever they want, taking whatever they want, and just being totally out of control. Now, this is a very brutal movie. I remember one scene at the start where Carlton is going to an away game with all his boys, and there's a load of Millwall supporters waiting for them at the train station. They are so outnumbered, it's unbelievable, and Carlton actually gets an axe put into the back of his head. I mean, can you imagine the pain of that? An axe into the back of your head when you're just going to a football match. There's also a young man gets his mouth sliced open with a pizza cutter by Pat Tate. There's heads being blown off by shotguns. I mean, Julian Gilby does not hold back in the violent department here, and to be honest, it's absolutely necessary to the dark and depressing tale that this movie tells. It all feels necessary for the grittiness of the film. The characters in this movie live very, very dark lives that the regular guy like you and me would just want to stay away from totally. Some of the things that Pat and Tony and Craig get up to in this film, look, it justifies the ending. I'm not saying anyone deserves to die, but they had it coming, you know. They were asking for it, basically. And the movie is quite clever the way it plays out the ending. It leaves you to interpret what could have happened, because a lot of people actually believe that the wrong men are behind bars here in real life, who are Jack Holmes and Mickey Steele. And the movie shows you 3 different scenarios of what you think really happened. So basically you're seeing Craig, Tony and Pat killed in 3 different ways, but it's not an excuse to put violence out there. It really does ask questions. And I thought that was very clever, the way you can make your own mind up about what you think happened. Because I know these guys are behind bars, but a lot of people tend to think that no one will really know what happened. And along with the brutal violence, we do have some horrific language in this movie. Absolutely every bad word you can think of is in this movie. And I think the C word must have been used about 50 times here, easily. Just adds to the gritty realism though. I mean, they're not very nice people what we're dealing with in this movie, just put it that way. Let's just talk about the movie's characters here and the cast. Now, I think Ricky Hunter really done a fantastic job as Carlton Leach here. I'm very surprised I haven't seen him in anything else really, apart from 28 Days Later, where he had a small part. I know he's been in EastEnders, but I don't watch that. Now, the guy was perfect for the role, he really was, and I'm very surprised that he didn't go up so many levels after this film, because it's a very good performance. He really makes the character believable, and you know, Carlton Leach has led a very, very dangerous life, and Ricky Hartnett just put you into the shoes of that character really well here. I thought he was one of the best things about the film. Teddy Stone and Roland Manuchin are also fantastic in their roles. So the main 4 people are brilliant, and the 4th is Craig Fairbrass. Now, he is the best thing about the movie by a mile. Now, he was mainly known again for EastEnders, but he plays Pat Tate in this movie, and I don't think anyone's seen this performance from him coming. He is absolutely magnificent in the film. He owns the screen every time he's on it, even when these other 3 strong characters are on screen with him. He just commands the audience. He is absolutely brilliant in this film. He's a very, very underrated actor. And he's another one who I just thought might have gone to the very next level now. Now, he's probably done the best out of everyone in this movie, let's be honest. I mean, he's in a lot of movies since this. And like I said behind me, this movie has spawned 3 sequels. He is the main star of 2 of them. Just shows how fantastic of a character and how loved of a character he is by fans, or the cult following of this movie. You know, every time you talk about Rise of the Footsoldier with someone, you immediately mention Pat Tate's scenes or Craig Fairbrass's scenes, because all the best parts of this movie are because of him, basically. This movie also has a very decent soundtrack as well. There's a song in this movie called Heaven Knows. It's quite a good song, but it's a very depressing song, and it just goes so well with the atmosphere of the film. And there's also some very good, you know, mid-90s house music or dance tracks in this that really put you into that time era of 1994 and 1995. Some very good song choices here. And before I get to my negatives of this movie, which I do have a couple of, I'm just going to mention my 3 favourite moments. Now, I just said Craig Fairbrass has all the best moments. And these 3 moments, he's only involved in one of them. But anyway, what I meant by that is he sort of makes the whole movie with the scenes that connect with him. But anyway, my 3 favourite moments of this movie are, number 1 is where Tony Tucker runs up the stairs after Craig Rolfe, and he's screaming at him, calling him everything he can because Craig hasn't turned up for the job that he was meant to do. And he opens the window and Craig just flies out the top house window, and he's screaming in agony on the floor. His bones are probably broken, and Tony's just still screaming at him, going, "That's it, you're not doing nothing for me no more. You're sacked, or you're off the firm." And he just doesn't care any iota about Craig's well-being, and Craig's just on the floor nearly dead. But Tony is just out of control in this film. Like I said, Teddy Stone's fantastic as Tony Tucker. The second scene that is one of my favourites is in the club, where Carlton Leach walks up to this drug dealer and just gets right in his face and says, "What are you doing? What are you doing selling drugs in here?" And the drug dealer goes, "Look, just have one, mate. Trust me, you'll like it." And he goes, "Okay, I'm in a good mood, but put the rest away." And this is the first time Carlton's ever had an ecstasy tablet or any sort of drug, going by this movie anyway. And he takes the ecstasy tablet and he's just talking to his mate who's a bouncer, I forgot the guy's name in the movie, sorry, but he's going, "How do you feel?" And he goes, "Oh, it's rubbish, I can't even feel nothing." And then you can see his eyes just bulging and everything slowing down around him. And he goes, "Oh, mate, I can't help this, I've got to dance." And he just starts dancing everywhere, he's loving life. He even goes over to the drug dealer and hugs him. And I always laugh at that scene. And the third favourite scene of this movie is probably in the hospital, where Pat Tate's just been shot by Jimmy, and all of them are in there, and they've got this like escort woman who's just totally naked. That's not why it's my favourite moment, but they're all just having coke and they don't care. They're in a hospital, all just sniffing coke, doing what they want. They don't care. And it just shows you how cocky these characters actually get. Now, I do have a few negatives about this film. They didn't really bother me too much until I recently rewatched this. And the first negative is the whole Jimmy story, where Pat Tate and Jimmy are just having murder back and forth. They're always fighting with each other, wanting to kill each other. And it's just 20 minutes of bullshit, really. I mean, they could have filled the time of this movie with something a lot more interesting. And Carlton Leach, who's narrating the story, or Ricky Hartnett, so they say, who's narrating the story, even just says, in the end, they both got arrested and that was the end of it. And it's like, what is the point in that 20 minutes? You could have... Some of it's entertaining, but I just feel the movie could have been filled with something better than that story, that little mini-story. And the other scene that's a bit of a negative for me is where Craig Rolfe kills this guy called Chris to get back on the firm after the scene I mentioned before where he's knocked out the window. And he wants to get back on the firm, and he kills this guy Chris who owes Tony £2,000. But it's not exactly the story part of it, it's just the way it's filmed. It's a little depressing, a little dull, and just a scene that I just don't like watching, to be honest. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Rise of the Footsoldier an 8 out of 10. I'm sorry I ever looked down on this film before watching it. Again, always make your own mind up with movies, guys. I know I'm a movie reviewer, but I just like to get my thoughts out there and talk about movies. Always make your own mind up. Even if I give a movie a 3 out of 10 and you're curious to see it, watch it. So that was my first lesson in making my own mind up. Now, what I love about this film, it's so rewatchable. I've actually seen this movie over 10 times easily, maybe even 20. I watch it once every 6 months. I just love to revisit it. It's such a fun but gritty movie, if you get me, and one of the best British gangster films out there, in my opinion. So guys, if you watch my videos, you always know that I like to end on a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Rise of the Footsoldier is Carlton Leach, the real Carlton Leach, who is on the front cover of this book here. Sorry, let me just find that. There. He can actually be seen in the movie in one of the scenes in the gym. he's just lifting a few weights and it's actually the real Carlton Leach. Now, mostly when I do these videos, I'll probably try and fill it with fun facts anyway, but I realised that I don't think I actually did here, so there's your fun fact for Rise of the Foot Soldier. Now, okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this revisit and review. If you've got any ideas where I could improve on these reviews, let me know. But this is just my first one, I just wanted to get it out there. I don't think I'll ever review Rise of the Foot Soldier 2 or 3, because I'm not sure I really want to go back to those movies. But if you want to check my Rise of the Foot Soldier 4 review out, please check. I'll leave a link below. Please check that out. Feel free to do so. It was one of the very first reviews I ever done. I'm a little bit ropey on that. But thanks for all for watching, guys. Take it all easy. And I'll see you all on the next video. Oh, by the way, if you've got any thoughts on Rise of the Foot Soldier, let me know. I will reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.